Hello and welcome to this week's Beyond the Headlines. There is an old saying that one of the only certainties in life is taxes. For Japan, that saying took on a new significance this month with the introduction of a 2% increase in the rate of a consumption tax, which is the Japanese equivalent of our VAT. Whilst tax rises are never popular, this particular rise warrants a close assessment because of what happened the last time the rate was raised. In 2014, the tax was increased by the government from 5% to 8%, as means to pay Japan's rise in healthcare costs that comes with an ageing population. While the results were dramatic, a massive hit to consumer spending followed and caused the economy to drop by 1.9% in a quarter. A dramatic rethink and shift in political thinking occurred and a general election followed. The re-elected government of Shinzo Abe was forced to introduce growth-orientated policies, restoring confidence, and the Japanese economy rebounded. With hindsight, the decision to hike the tax was questionable. However, at the time, there were justifiable reasons for the increase. Economic growth was robust in the year prior to the tax rise, and the rise was viewed as a way to place Japan's fiscal position on a more solid position. With that in mind, the question arises whether the latest hike will have the same effect. Well, there are good reasons for thinking this might be different. Firstly, Shinzo Abe's painful memories about what happened last time persist. A repeat will be akin to shooting oneself in the foot. Voters will object, again putting pressure on the government. Secondly, an incentivization scheme to mitigate negative consumer behavioural tendencies has been introduced. A cashback scheme gives consumers rebates of 2% if they pay electronically rather than using cash. Thirdly, Japan hosts the 2019 Rugby World Cup during the initial period of the tax coming into effect. Large-scale global sporting events have been shown to promote consumption, with transmission effects through tourism and the wider services industry. Japanese GDP should receive a boost of around 217 billion yen or £1.65 billion. Finally, food is exempt from the increase, helping those households with the low levels of surplus income and easing the burden of the less well-off. As a result, they can continue to spend on enjoyable pursuits, helping the wider economy. Why has the Japanese government increased the tax? Well, there are strong structural arguments for making fiscal spending sustainable over the long term. Japan famously has one of the largest debt burdens of any economy, by spending more than they raise in tax. Government debt is 234% of gross domestic product. To put this into context, the percentage of UK government debt to GDP is 86%. Additionally, Japan's rapidly ageing population presents a real headache for policymakers. The rise in median age of a Japanese citizen dictates there will be fewer workers in the future to support the provision of welfare programs for young and old alike. Confronting these two challenges together is a monumental task, but the fact that the Japanese government is seeking to tackle them is laudable. The benefits of injecting some fiscal prudence into Japanese society could be widely felt and place the country's future on a more sustainable path, hopefully guaranteeing the continued prosperity of Japanese society. Thank you for watching.